All right. Good evening. This is a late session. 11:24. I hope y'all been well. Hope you was able to get some rest over the weekend. I hope that your Monday went well. I hope your Tuesday went well. So I want to start off with transparency and openness. So this is the loss that I took today, right? Um, Initially I had a markup right here of from point A to point B, and then price met this and gave us an equal high, but it stopped at this. Um, I'm sorry, I'm over here having a brain fart right now. Resistance. So it stopped at this resistance, and then after that it formed a higher low, but then it formed a lower high, and then after that it went through. So initially when I saw this point right here, I left my bias, right? I left my bias because there's a trader that I follow. I'm not gonna mention his name because there's no need. It's unimportant. And the reason why it's unimportant is because we're gonna get into it. So his bias was buys, right? Higher low, boom, buys, right? But instead, I broke one rule that I've been telling you guys and that I've been learning myself, right? And this is like where discipline comes in. This is where fear of missing out or FOMO comes in. This is when not being patient, because that's gonna be the primary thing of this video. It's gonna be relatively short. I'm just gonna go over my losses, and then we're gonna go into what I really wanted you guys to see real quick. But so I lost right here, dead ass. I lost right here, and it's because I clearly had sales. Like it's clear as fucking day. Sales. I'm just being honest. It's clear as fucking day that this is gonna be a sell. Why? Because all I had to do was wait for this higher low to be established. That's all I had to do. I had to wait. If price at that moment in time, right, it's supposed to be forming higher highs and higher lows, right? Like, nope, all bullshit aside. Let's do this, right? Here, right? Cool. Boom. Boom. We got an indication, right? Cool. Here, then here. That is a lower low. Yeah, from here it looks like a lower high, but if we're tracing and we're trailing, this is a lower low. Then what happens? Price bounces up, creates a lower high, boom, sell. Clear as fucking day. But I didn't trust my process. And that's why I lost. Right? So, being honest, I deserve to lose because I didn't trust my bias. So that's the first lesson that I want you guys to understand tonight. When you're trading, it's good to get signals. That's cool, right? Because it works for some people it doesn't. It's good to follow other traders, see what their insights are, see what their knowledge is. That's good and all fine and dandy. But at the end of the day, regardless of what they say, you are the one pressing the button. Let's not forget that. You are the one that's pressing the button. And ultimately, if you're pressing the button, that means you are making a choice, a conscious decision, a conscious choice to either follow your analysis or the analysis of somebody else. And in the words of one of my brothers, I'd rather lose on my analysis than to lose on someone else's, especially if I was right, right? So it's fine. It's a learning lesson. It's something I was very frustrated about because I was like, I knew better and I made a mistake, right? So I want to get into a second loss as well, because some of y'all are going to experience this. So I want to just kind of give you some knowledge. This one right here. Now, this, as you can see, it came back to bite me, right? It's ended up over here when I took the screenshot, but initially I got in right here. Now, we had this high, low, lower high. I got in. Cool. Price rejected right here. So I wanted this. I should have just took that. And I would have got my TP and I would have been in and I would have been out. Right? And then plus on top of that, right? We saw that 61.8. So I'm thinking, all right, cool, it's going to get here. Nah. Just take the zero, take the profit, right? Take profit. And then after that, go out. Now, not only did I lose the trade on paper, I actually got stopped out of the trade. So let me pull up a text. I'm not going to pull up on the screen, but I'm going to read out loud to you like pretty much just what happened, okay? So I texted one of my partners and I said, yo, have you ever been closed out of a trade but your stop loss wasn't hit? He said, yeah, on a margin call or a bad spread. If it was anywhere close to your SL, right, which is your stop loss, probably was a bad spread, if not the margin, right? So definitely wasn't margin, right? Because I didn't over on my margin. So he says, I was like, bad spread means like my lot size was too low. He was like, no, bad spread means the buy and sell prices were far apart, which triggered an early SL. So if your spread is too far apart, right? So if you got this right here, but your stop loss is that short, if it gets anywhere close to your stop loss, depending on your brokerage, from what I'm understanding, and then also possibly maybe even your prop firm, but more than likely it's going to be your brokerage, which you're trading with, they're going to hit your stop loss early. So traders should be aware of that. Whenever you are trading, make sure that you leave a little bit more room for your stop loss and it's not as tight, so therefore you don't get hit with a margin or a bad spread, and next thing you know, you're closed out of your trade and it turns out being a winner. Because say if I took this, then I would have been pissed as fuck, because it's like, damn, I won my trade but I got closed out, right? So 2 losses to start off the week. I'm not happy about it at all, which is why I'm recording a video, 1, to kind of give a breakdown of practice, and then 2, ultimately as well, just to get back in the lab and practice some more. Because I mean, honestly, if you have a bad game, then what are you gonna do? Sit at home and be like, fuck, you know? No, I'm gonna watch the film. I'm gonna look at what I did wrong, because I don't like losing. That's just being real. I don't like losing. Regardless of whether or not, if it's entertainment for you, regardless if it's like, damn, you know, like we rooting for you, whatever it is, I pride myself on being the best at this, right? And of course, there's gonna come with losses, but losses where, you know, I'm second guessing myself, it's unacceptable. So, you know, I will make up for this. As simple as that. It has nothing to do with anybody that's viewing. It has everything to do with me. So now let's get to back testing, because y'all know that's my shit. Y'all know that's my favorite thing to do. I love breaking down new things or stuff anyway, right? I love breaking that shit down. All right, so y'all ready? Let's get it. All right, so first things first. My bad, wrong pair. There we go. So this was the trade that I took right before I started this. I wanted to show y'all, low-key, I ain't gonna lie, it felt good to kind of bounce back. Again, you know, you take 2 losses in a week, it can shake your confidence a little bit. But again, this is what happens when you follow your plan. So the first things first, we need to see where the daily is, right? We always need to start off at the daily and find out where the daily is. Right now, the daily is in this range. However, we got a consolidation down here, and then we got an indication. Once we got an indication out of consolidation, none of that shit over here matters anymore outside of support and resistance. Why? Because price can easily give us an indication and push past all of this because of volume and then how the market is going. So again, once you get an indication, pretty much look at your range areas of where prices hit the most as support or resistance, right? So cool. So we took a very smart and calculated trade, right? So I saw the daily, boom, I saw the indication. On the daily, I saw where the indication ended, which was right here, which is why my point A to point B, let me put it up for you real quick. Those for that are brand new, point B is going to be where the indication ends, okay? And then point A is where the indication starts, right? So for people that are trying to understand the terminology, I trade ICC, also known as IC Get Money, or ICI, how I've called it in one of the videos, which is indication, indication, correction, indication, because the continuation just gives you another indication. But cool. So some people do break and retest. Some people also call that break and retest. So simple as this. So I saw point A. Boom. I got point B. Let me move this out the way. And then point C is right here, right? Because the correction ends. How do we know, how do we know that the correction is done? All right, we're on the 4 hour, right? You can't really tell like that. We're on the 1 hour. Now you get a little bit of a closer snapshot. What did I wait on this time? I waited on what? Cool. Low, high, right? Another low got established. So yeah, let's actually pull down the 15 minute because it's jumbled up. Cool. So check this out. All right. We're on the 15 minute now because this is where I execute my trades. I execute my trades on the 15 or the 5 minute, but I typically go off the 15 just because it gives me less traffic. Okay. So here's my low. My low's right here. Here's my higher low right here. Here's my here's my second higher low right here. And here's my third one right here, right? Now, I've always said 2 is confirmation. So I got my low, I got my first higher low, my higher highs here, and I got my second higher low. Remember, I'm coming out of a correction. So since I'm coming out of a correction, I'm not going to see higher highs and higher lows immediately, right? Or lower lows and lower highs immediately. But I'm typically going to see these bottoms, right? I'm typically going to see the bottom form in the direction of, hey, the trend is changing, right? So, with that being the case, it was easy as hell. Look at this. This is an A+. This is an A+ entry, right? A+ entry. And on top of that, it was a 1 to 4. Now, how did I get my SL? My SL was at the back of what? Where my higher lows started. So if price pushed past my higher lows, that's how I know price is not ready to end the correction just yet. I can live with that because that lets me know that we're still on a downtrend, right? It's different if, something else happens like a liquidity sweep. Cool. And even then, liquidity is just going to wipe all these traders out right here, and then it's going to shoot back up to the upside. But again, this is why we give our stop loss a little bit of room, right? If you want to even safer stop loss, behind here. Just being honest. But me, I felt very confident in my trade, just placing them below the higher lows. Let me get back to that 428. 424 is fine. So, all right. Now, why did I choose my target to be what it was? Let's zoom back out. And this actually is going to perfectly segue into the reason why I'm actually showing you guys this video. So we had our support right here. Anytime support got to this area, Exhibit A, Exhibit B, Exhibit C, Exhibition. I'm just fucking with you. But 4 points, 4 touches. Let's identify where most of the touches went. Right here. Touched right here. Here. Touched right here. Here. Touched right here. Here. Right? So cool. That lets me know price, if once it gets right here, there are strong buyers in this area. Strong buyers. Right? These are people that are bullish. Right? The bears are right here holding sells, or they're right here. Okay? So now I see that. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, I got my higher low. Price is going to run into a problem right here before it either decides to go up or it gets sent back down. Again, because sellers are strong right here. Sell down here. Sell down here. Sell down here. Sell down here. Okay? This area touched down here. So this got this short touch. Second touch, it's either going to shoot past and run into the traffic right here, or it's going to get pushed back down. Cool. Okay, so you don't stay in your trade too long, right? Cool. All right. Now, here's the real reason why I'm showing you this trade. Let's move this. The indication started right here, right? Now, what day is it? If you look here at the bottom, right? Near this area. I'm going to do it again. If you look at the bottom, that says Friday, January 6th, 2023. January 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th. When did my trade take place? My trade took place on the 20th. My indication started 2 weeks ago. This is the reason why I'm showing you this trade, because this is a message to me and this is going to be a message to you. Please be patient. Be patient. It is better for you to win and see that everything is correlated from the higher time frame all the way down to the lower, and then you have all the confidence and all the correlations, all the confluences in the world to where you can load the boat on this trade because you know exactly what's about to happen, and then you win a 1-4, and that 1-4 alone, say if on my account, right, let's just take an imaginary number. Say if I have an account size to where for every I can risk $1,000, right? I can risk $1,000, right? And if I got a 1-4, that means I'm winning $4,000. Well, this happens on multiple pairs, not just NASDAQ. But imagine if you made $4,000 in a day. Well, if we put $4,000 in a day, right? You waited 2 weeks. You made $4,000 in one day just because you were patient. Now, if we do $4,000 times 12, that's $48K. But that's just on an account that can tolerate 1,000 risk, okay? Which is typically going to be a roughly $10,000 to $20,000 account. You can get that with a prop firm, being honest. Or if you got capital like that, which is beautiful, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Dog, you get what I'm saying? Like, think about that. You made $4K in one day. And again, we're using simple numbers, simple examples, so I don't overcomplicate this shit. You made $4K in one day just because you were being patient for 2 weeks. So I understand from myself, and I understand what you may be going through in a situation where you're like, nah, nigga, I need this money every day, right? It is better for you to wait and get a really good move, so therefore you can be able to really experience the joy and the freedom of being able to make thousands of dollars in one day and not even doing really anything outside of clicking a button, and you only was just paying attention to the charts. That's all you were doing. You were looking, checking on NASDAQ, checking your other pairs, but checking NASDAQ and be like, NASDAQ's not done. Nope, it's not done. It's not done yet. Not done yet. Not done yet. And that's just looking at the charts every day. And then you finally see this, and you're like, it's the 19th. Ah, shit. All right. Let's see how far this goes. And then next thing you know, you click down, right? Because as soon as I saw this happen, literally, as soon as I saw this candle happen, it was starting to do this, opposed to right here. As soon as I saw that, I said, all right, let's click down. Let's find out where price is going. Cool, I got my 4 hour. Now I know, oh, all right, we got something stirring right here. All right, cool. We'll be then bet. Let me get to the 1 hour. Oh, we really got some shit stirring. All right, bet. So that's why I wanted to show this video. I wanted to show you guys my losses and update you because, again, I told you from the beginning, I'm going to make mistakes. I am not free from trading, but I damn sure can be able to explain this shit to you very, very well. I know that. I have so much confidence in that. And then I know that it's only a matter of time before I end up being the, how could you say, what we see with typical traders, right, that are advertised. They got all types of fucking cars. They got the lifestyle. They got the houses and all that shit. That's good. That's good for them. I'm happy for them. Genuinely, I really am. But that doesn't exclude me from being able to teach something that I'm actually passionate about. I'm not getting paid from this on YouTube. Not yet. I don't have anybody funding this, sponsoring this. This is coming from my own passion for me being able to investigate and teach others what I know. And then also just document the journey of me getting rich from this shit, along with other things. Right? That's the point of Rich Bachelor. It's being able to be the renaissance of yourself. You have your own renaissance, right? So I'm documenting my process. But I say that with all sincerity, man. Like, first of all, be patient. Be patient. Allow yourself to have the opportunity to come to you instead of chasing trades. This one trade alone, on that example, made you $4,000. That'd be the easiest $4,000 you ever made in your motherfucking life. Imagine if your account was bigger. 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand. If it was smaller, Not a lot of people in America make $400 in a day. In a day. Not a lot of people in America make $400 in a day. You can statistically find that. So, you know, just be patient, man. Genuinely be patient and trust your process. Trust your process. Genuinely, just trust your process, man. So, but that's all I got for you guys. More videos will be posted, but this is gonna be the brand new one. So, hope y'all enjoy, man. Have a good night.